how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffled Rowlett, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. Now, as you look at on the screen right here, what you can see in front of you is a new rumor that popped up on 4chan. As per usual, we have these things popping up all over the place, but we have a new rumor that just popped up, which is the one, like, just one of those rumors with a bunch of images trying to hint at things. Now, I will point out right now, there actually was a rumor just like this, leading up to Sword and Shield's release, which was correct, okay? So, we've already had once one of these that was correct, at least within, like, you know, the span of the last, like, you know, hype season, leak season, right? So there was one that was real. It predicted a bunch of Pokemon. Actually, every single Pokemon that ended up being, you know, in the release pretty much was predicted through those images. So basically the point I'm trying to get across is that, you know, we shouldn't take this as like a nothing thing. You know, there's a high possibility this is real. So yeah, I thought we'd go through that and just kind of like, you know, talk about it, see what it has to offer. But on top of that also, I'm going to go through a few other things in this video as well. So yeah, guys, hope you guys are ready for this. And for some reason, my face cam isn't working, as you can see right here, which I apologize for. Now it's just a black screen, but yeah, some reason it's not working. Either way, let's get into this. So let's start with the first thing, right? All the images. So let's look through this, right? So the top left one, I'm assuming is a turkey, right? Which I'm not sure what that's meant to imply. I'm trying to think of like what it reminds me of within like what we've seen from the DLC so far, but there's like nothing that like it indicates besides like, I don't know, maybe it could be something to do with like the closest thing I can think of is like the new Zapdos, the new form for Zapdos is kind of like almost like an ostrich, right? Because it's like running on ground, right? It's not flying really. So I'm trying to think like, is that a connection? But that makes no sense because that's an ostrich and this is, you know, turkey. It doesn't really make connection there. So maybe this is meant to hint at a brand new Pokemon, right? Could be that. Next thing, or maybe it's actually hinting at like some turkey Pokemon actually getting in like, you know, like an evolution. I don't know. Either way, next thing we have up here is a scarf. The scarf, again, no clue what this could be indicating. Could really be anything. Let me be frankly honest. Could literally be anything. So I don't really know what it could be in relation to, but I mean, maybe it's to do with the cold weather, specifically within, like, you know, the second DLC, which is the Crown Tundra, which is meant to be, like, you know, I mean, the literal name there is, like, you know, it's obvious, Tundra, right, you know, that just screams, like, that it's going to be something cold, a cold area, right, and we've already seen the footage, and it shows, like, mountainous, cold areas, so that's already a decent connection. Don't really know what else to really put in there. Next thing here is a lamp. Now, this lamp is one of those desk lamps you have. It also looks very much like the Pixar lamp, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Like the little Pixar lamp that comes in and like removes like the, I can't remember which letter it is, but like it just smashes it, it becomes that letter in the Pixar logo. So I'm not sure, again, what this is meant to mean. Is this like a connection maybe to that specifically? Like maybe there's going to be a new Pokemon movie in connection to this, or maybe it's a movie connection, or maybe it has nothing to do with that. Maybe we're going to get a Pokemon based on a lamp. I mean, I don't know. Next thing is, I'm not really sure what that is. I'm assuming it's a butterfly, but I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not really sure what it is. Like, it's some sort of bug, though, but it looks a little bit like a butterfly. However, though, I'm assuming this could mean some sort of new bug type. Butterfly bug type could be possible. I mean, I'm not sure if we did get a lot of bug types, though, in Sword and Shield, didn't we? We got a lot, and I mean, really a lot of bug types, so I don't know. I mean, does it seem reasonable that they would do another one? Like, I mean, highly possible. Again, yeah, I wouldn't see why they wouldn't want to do it. So, I don't know. Maybe it's going to happen. Who knows? Next up is one that I think we can easily discern. It's a Smeargle with a book on its tail. So, I'm assuming this means it's going to get a Galarian form, or maybe, if not a Galarian form, maybe it's going to get some sort of, like, Gigantamax form, right? And the reason I say this is because I think what the book is meant to mean, because as you know, Smeargle's tail is basically like a, you know, a brush, right? It's like a brush that you use to, like, you know, paint, like a painting brush, right? So it having a book there instead could imply that it's going to have a book as its tail, and then it's going to, like, paint in it with maybe, like, an actual brush in its normal hands, you know, and not through the tail. Maybe something like that, but I can definitely see this being, like, a Galarian form, you know, like, more like a scholar version of, like, Smeargle, because the whole thing with Smeargle is it's meant to be, I guess, like, kind of like a French painter, almost. I think that's what the whole design's kind of going for, because it almost looks like it's got, like, one of those, I'm not sure what you call them in English, like, in Swedish like basket or whatever. Like it's like, you know, the little like, you know, like French kind of like hats or whatever. He's kind of got that going for him, and he kind of like, you know, it kind of reminds you with his design of like a French painter, right? And since painting is really well connected to, you know, France, Italy, those sort of countries, it makes a lot of sense. So seeing like something like a, you know, kind of a scholar type thing, you know, like a scholar, like a, you know, something like that would make a lot of sense for it. So I could definitely see something like that being possible. Next up is a ship. All right, we've got an old, like, I'm not really sure which era type ship, but like, it's definitely not like current day era ship. It's more like, you know, I guess like Victorian-esque, right? In terms of design, I could be wrong, but like, I don't know, it looks somewhat like a, I'm trying to tell if either like it could be going something for like a pirate ship, some sort of warship, or what the deal is, but like an old ship clearly though, and I'm not really sure what its meaning is here. Like I can't really tell what its whole point is. Maybe we're going to be able to travel somewhere. Maybe there's going to be a boat that's going to take us to new places. I mean, honestly, I don't really know. I really cannot tell. Next up is a brain. So we've got a big old brain just casually there. Again, really hard to tell what the connection here could be. I really do not know. Could really be anything, but I mean, honestly, I have no clue. Is it a Pokemon? Don't know. Is it like something else? I really do not know. Because like, there's nothing that indicates what its meaning could be. All right, next thing. In the middle here, we've got a giant tree, and we've got a, I guess like a king's, like, seat, or whatever you would call it, like a throne. Sorry, throne, that's the word I was looking for. You've got a throne and a tree. And I think what this might be implying, or this is a connection to, is the brand new legendary Pokemon for the Crown Tundra. I can't remember what its, like, name is. Syalax, something like that. I honestly cannot remember, but, I remember that, like, we could see in the Crown Tundra DLC, there's a giant tree that's kind of like there, and then, you know, like, you know, it's called the Crown Tundra, right? So crown implying some sort of monarchy, and a throne is usually what a monarch sits in, right? So makes a lot of sense for there to be that to be there, and maybe that's some sort of connection there. Maybe there's a connection to, like, the crown of this, like, you know, Galarian kingdom, maybe like the former crown of the kingdom, somebody might have led the kingdom, because we know, as we heard, this legendary Pokemon, Cyrillax, whatever it's called. I'm actually going to check out the name real quick. But, like, whatever it is, it basically, you know, it was in the past a Pokemon that had essentially control over all of Galar. And I think we can read the entry here for it real quick and see what the deal is, because that should give us a little bit more indication on, like, what's going on here. So just going to have to look through and see if we can find those details. So the Crown Tundra DLC is the one that's going to feature this brand new Pokemon. And again, I really cannot tell, like, what the deal is with this thing. Like, it honestly is kind of strange, to be frankly honest. So, Calyrex, there we go. So, Calyrex it is. Alright, let's read a little bit of info on Calyrex, and maybe that's going to give us an indication what we're looking at. So, it's the King Pokemon, so it makes sense, right? King sitting in a throne, you know, in a throne with a crown on, right? It's a noble leader. This Pokemon ruled all of Galar in ancient times. So yeah, again, it's the Crown Tundra, right? So the king's, like, you know, tundra. You know, where the crown rules, right? That's, I guess, what the whole point of it is. That's the name. I can see the interesting connections here. And then, of course, specifically the King Pokemon. It's a Psychic Grass type, clearly, which is really strange, but also kind of cool. Now, this Pokemon used to ruled all of Galar in ancient times. Though it appears delicate and slight, its every move is filled with grace and dignity. It has an extremely high intelligence, and it's said to see every past, present, and future event. Sounds kind of crazy. Sounds very, very, very nuts for a Pokemon. But and again, we literally have God Pokemon like Arceus. So is it really that strange? No. So yeah, I think this might be some sort of connection to Calyrex here. So yeah, that's what I think the deal is with that one. All right, next thing we've got Tom and Jerry. I guess like Jerry. I guess. Just chilling, eating some cheese. I'm not sure if that's meant to mean we're gonna get like some sort of new mouse Pokemon. I'm assuming that's the whole deal with that. Then we've got I cannot remember what this guy's called in English. I only know, like, that his name is Perry, I guess. But I don't know, like, the English, like, word for the animal he is. I think it's a platypus, right? I think he's a, like, Perry the platypus? I think that might be, yeah. I think so. I'm not sure, but I think he's a platypus, though. And again, this could imply that we're going to be getting a platypus Pokemon. As you guys may know, Temtem actually has a platypus-like Temtem, which was originally like a fan-made design that was like just made as like a fake Pokemon leak. But they, the design was so cool, people really loved it. So Temtem was like, hey, person designed it, you want it to be in our game, and that person was like, sure, let's go. So yeah, we got that. Next thing here is some sort of a factory, right? You can see the smoke coming out, you can see the shape of the factory, etc. Again, not really sure what this is meant to imply. Maybe some sort of pollution. We already know there's like an underlying in Sword and Shield. There's like an underlying whatchamacallit, I guess like doomsday thing going on, or like like the world's going under because of global warming type thing going on there, right? Like there's this kind of like idea going on in the background of this whole this whole thing. There's like this whole premise, right? So maybe this is a connection to that. Maybe this is a connection to that general story and a continuation of that. So could be that. But I don't know. Next thing though is this kind of like meditating state here, which shows you like, I don't know, some sort of flower blossoming out and different like, I guess, chakras almost like within like the human soul. Again, I don't know what this could be connecting to. Maybe it's going to give like more of an indication about like Salarex specifically, because it is a Pokemon that can see the future, past, and the present, right? So maybe this is going to be something that's going to, impact the story specifically. And then finally, we have one last thing, which is the Alakazam behind a dragon, which could imply we're going to be getting some sort of psychic dragon, Pokemon within the game, or a psychic dragon like legendary, because, we've been shown 2 legendaries so far, but there is a chance we might still get legendaries that are hidden that we don't know anything about, right? Because we've already seen, like, we're going to be getting, like, the Moltres stuff, we're going to be getting, the Reggies, we're going to be getting the 2 new legendaries, plus the pre-evolution to one of those. We know we're going to be getting a bunch of those, but, like, this could be indicating what's going to be coming after that point, right? Like, what else is going to be there? So that could be what this could be like another legendary that we don't know about yet. That could be the case with this one. So yeah, that is basically that one, guys. That's the rumor. I'm really curious to know what you guys think about this. Again, my assumptions could be wrong, but I'd love to know yours. But the last thing here is this quick little post that was made right here. So somebody posted saying Galarian Slowking is a psychic poison. Galarian Slowbro is psychic ghost. Slowking is based on Dracula, also coughing on its head. Slowbro's part is dead. He has purple elements on his body, and dead part is less saturated. So I don't really know if this is true. Just a really short rumor. I thought I'd just include it. Not really sure what to feel about it. Could be real, but honestly, who knows? It feels like something somebody yeeted together. Though I will say there is a clear, like, if you look at the image for, like, not this image, but like if you look at the image of actually like Slowking, the little hinted version of the Galarian Slowking, you can actually see that he does almost have like an outfit that looks like like a Dracula outfit. So I could definitely see something like that happening. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be the end of the video, guys. If you did enjoy, drop a like down below. Thank you so much for watching. My name, of course, has been Ruffle Rallet. I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day, and bye bye, ladies and gentlemen.